Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for the Climate Schools Climate Live K12 session for students, educators, and the public, a series of the Columbia Climate School. My name is Emma Kizavat, and I will be facilitating this session today. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the Columbia Climate School or joining us for the first time, the Climate School was founded in July 2020 and is Columbia University's first new school in 25 years, dedicated to advancing transdisciplinary climate research. As a hub for innovative climate solutions, the Climate School brings together experts from across fields to address the most pressing climate challenges of our time. The Columbia Climate School is committed to shaping future leaders to drive climate solutions forward in every sector by offering educational programs for degree-seeking students, high school students, teachers, professional learners, and the public. By equipping changemakers with knowledge and skills, the Climate School empowers essential stakeholders in the fight for a just, prosperous society on a healthy planet. What we're hoping to do with these Climate Live K12 sessions is to introduce you all to our interdisciplinary work through scientific experts. The monthly sessions run the entirety of the 25-26 school year, so continuing through the end of June. And each month we focus on a certain topic and it will be directed towards a certain age range. So if you would like more information on future sessions, you can visit our website, which I will share in the chat in a minute. And you can also check out our past Climate Live K12 sessions by visiting our YouTube channel. And I'll also drop the link to our email if you have questions about Climate Live K12 sessions in general. We will have time for questions at the end, so please use the Q&A box as the chat is disabled. And the session will be recorded, so we'll be sending out that link afterwards. But we are really excited today to be joined by Ashley Young and Lylia Saurel from the Columbia University's Office of Undergrad Programs for an inside look at college life as a sustainability student. In this session, we will hear firsthand experiences about applying to college, studying sustainability, and navigating the dynamic and interdisciplinary world of sustainable development. From field research to internships, we'll discover how undergrads are shaping real-world solutions and building careers that make a difference. So thank you both so much for joining us today, and I'll turn it over to Ashley to first introduce herself.
Hi, my name is Ashley Young, and I'm a senior at Columbia University, and I'm studying sustainable development, and I'm so excited to talk a little bit about my student experience. And I'll pass it off.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Thank you, Ashley and Emma, for introducing our discussion. I will be sharing my screen and right into a presentation so that you all can learn more about college, sustainability college life. We are the Columbia Climate School Office of Undergraduate Program. My name is Lylia Saurel. We also work with Sylvia, our Associate Director, and we have two co-directors in our program, Leah and Jörg. Leah is a climate professor focused on policy, and Jörg more on natural sciences, specifically in South America and glacier formation. So we have a small team, but a mighty team. So what do we offer at Columbia Climate School? We have four main programs. We have the major in sustainable development, which is our main offering. We also offer a minor in sustainable development. So same as the major, the focus is within sustainability, but we have less classes required for this specific program. We used to offer a special concentration in sustainable development. We do not offer this for newly enrolled students. The reason is that the minor is a replacement for the special concentration, so a way for students to dive into sustainability, just taking less classes than the major. And we have a newly proposed program, the major in climate in sustainability. So this is from last year. More and more students are joining this, and it's really exciting. This program specifically focused on natural sciences with also focus in social sciences, but a little bit less so than the major in sustainable development. So what do a student do in our programs? Many of us students actually double major or do a major and a minor in a different area of studies. We see a lot of a student interested in economics as well as law, human rights, and politics. The reason for politics is we have a partnership with Sciences Po, a school in France, and this offers students with the opportunity to do a double BA. So that means they'll be focusing 2 years of the undergraduate program in France, focusing on politics, but also other aspects of sustainability. And then they'll join us for the last 2 years of our program at Columbia, and that means they get a double BA by the end of their study. We also offer a lot of different electives that allow students to explore diverse interests. Recently, we've seen a lot of students interested in water as well as water management, urban planning and urbanization with focus on New York City, as well as waste management at different levels. So quite locally within New York City, even at Columbia level, but also at the federal level and international level. We've also seen a large interest in public health recently, and I'm sure that the recent pandemic and COVID have just highlighted our sustainability and public health are intertwined. And so it's really interesting to see the new classes that students take within those areas. We also offer students the opportunity to propose some of the classes that they would like to take for electives, and if that makes sense for a major, we will approve those as the books. So students sometimes will come to us with absolutely new classes like sustainability and music, and we're excited to see those interests being part of a major as we grow. In terms of opportunities, I'm excited that we have Ashley joining us today because she'll be able to talk to some of those, but our program is really focused on hands-on experiences, and so we offer travel courses as well as field-based courses and study abroad programs. All of those fulfill different requirements in our programs. Some of the travel courses so far, I've been going to Bangladesh and Rwanda, but as soon as next spring, we'll offer a class going to South Africa with a focus in biology and environmental restoration. Some of the field-based courses are locally situated. Students go to the Catskills, so upstate, as well as Massachusetts, and some projects are even more local within the 5 boroughs. So just yesterday, we had students present their capstone for the semester, and some projects were focused in Staten Island, for instance. So a wide range of projects, always super interesting to see what students present on. And then a big part of our program is studying abroad. We encourage a student to take those opportunities when they come. Many students are actually interested to go to Costa Rica as well as Denmark. We have strong partnership with universities in those 2 countries, but we also see students suggesting Italy, Australia, and this is just a short list. I've seen students going to France, the UK, Serbia, and pretty much any country that they can find a partnership with the university there, we will be happy to take if it makes sense for the requirement of our programs. And where do a student go after graduation? The great thing about sustainable development is that it's a very diverse sector. And so you could go into private companies, you could go into public sectors, as well as continuing your education. We see a lot of students actually going into consulting and policy analysis, which means that they go to company to advise them on how best to be sustainable or on their sustainability reporting. And students are really excited about this field. We also see a lot of students going into renewable energy. This is a growing field. But some of the students also just decide to continue studying before getting a job, and some of them do so in the US, but we also have a large community abroad. So that's quite exciting. And now I will pass it on to Ashley, who's going to talk about our own experience in the program. Ashley is a shining star. We love her, and she's going to graduate next semester. So we're really excited to see what she's going to be doing next.
Thank you so much, Lylia. Hi, everyone. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. So, again, my name is Ashley Young, and I'm a senior at Columbia in the Sustainable Development Program. And so, when I wanted to talk about my student experience, I wanted to talk about one of my favorite aspects about the program, and that is this interdisciplinary approach that the courses allow you to pay for yourself. And so I view sustainability and sustainable development as a framework and a kind of philosophy that you can align many different systems to work in reciprocity with people and the planet. And so with sustainability having so many different stakeholders in across industries and environments, it becomes a very intersectional major, as Lilia mentioned. And this requires a very interdisciplinary approach. And so throughout my undergraduate career, I've taken a multitude of courses from coding and biology and anthropology. You can kind of dive into so many different fields. And there are definitely courses that are tailored to the more empirical or scientific side of sustainability. There are lab offerings and, as I mentioned, some science courses, but then there are also a lot of the socioeconomic classes that kind of relate towards policy, finance, and human rights. And so the major really welcomes you the freedom to shape your own trajectory, which I have found really unique and honestly very rewarding, especially because in order to create these solutions to the many overlapping challenges that we face today, it's really important to have that diverse understanding and to engage with so many students across these disciplines. And so the Sustainable Development Department at Columbia has allowed me to engage in a lot of place-based learning, which is on this slide here. And I kind of wanted to dive into three different experiences that have really shaped the scholar that I am today. And so the first on the top is this capstone course. And so this is a required course for all undergraduates in the SUSDEP department. And it exposes students to a rigorous work environment with real clients, real deliverables, and a kind of close-knit group group working activity. And so last semester I was accepted into the Sustainability in Rwanda course, and it was one of the most rewarding projects I have ever been a part of. It was so meaningful, and I think I could probably sit here and talk about that experience for the next hour, all of the growth that I endured as a student, as a scholar, as a researcher, but also as a human being, and getting to interact with so many different cultures throughout my time at Columbia has been incredible. And I don't think you would gain those experiences that you gain when you're directly in an environment in the classroom. So that was such a special experience. And then the second one I listed here was a course in Cuttyhunk, Massachusetts. And then the last is this was a study abroad program that I applied to, and it was over the summer after my sophomore year in Venice, Italy, and it was in partnership with the University of Warwick and really focused on the really challenging environment of Venice, Italy, with the Venetian Lagoon and the city kind of sinking and all of the challenges that are facing the communities that live there. And so that was a fascinating course as well, and it resulted in a very deep research paper that I got to present at the end of the year as well. And so I hope that my enthusiasm and gratitude for this program really comes through the screen. It has, like I said, grown me in more ways than I ever could have imagined. And I've gained so many hard skills, but then also so many soft skills, which I think are equally as important. And the faculty in this program are also just wonderful individuals and inspire me and have been mentors and continue to support me even after I graduate. I know that I can always come back to this department with questions or opportunities as well. And speaking of that support system that you have as a student in this program, I received funding for my own senior thesis that I'm kind of conducting still right now, but I did some research over the summer in Peru, and I also received support and scholarship for the study abroad program I mentioned in Venice, Italy. So this department, I can't thank all the individuals in this department enough for those opportunities and for that support as a student. And just like the professors here, it's also the people that I've met, the undergraduates and graduates that are in the sustainability kind of sphere at Columbia. They're incredibly inspiring, and you learn so much from them, maybe even more so than you learn just in your classes. It's really the people that make it so exciting and welcoming. And yeah, if you're a student that's interested in sustainability, and maybe even if you're interested in kind of a unique interdisciplinary approach. So for me personally, that's the fashion kind of aspect of sustainability. This has been met with so much support also from the faculty at Columbia and from the department. There's not necessarily a kind of focused coursework focused coursework on sustainable fashion. But when I brought this kind of niche intersection, as Lylia mentioned, to the department, it's been met with so much excitement, and it's actually helped create the Fashion, Energy, and Climate Network that is at Columbia today. And so it's been a dream being a part of this department, and I can't talk about it enough. And so if you're a student that's interested in sustainability, I want to leave you with this one quote from Robin Wall Kimmerer, who's the author of Braiding Sweetgrass, which is a remarkable book that really embodies the true soul of sustainability, in my opinion. And so it's a short one. It just says, all flourishing is mutual. And so I think what she means is that systems thrive when people, environments, and knowledge traditions are in reciprocity. And I think that is exactly what the Sustainable Development Department at Columbia really helps cultivate. And so, with that, a little bit of a tangent, but thank you so much. And please feel free to follow up with me. I think I linked my email and my LinkedIn here. If you have any questions or just want to talk a little bit more about what this department has to offer. Yeah, so thankful to be here and excited for everything that comes your way.
Thank you so much, Ashley. Hopefully, you get a sense of all the opportunities that the program offers through Ashley's experience. Again, Ashley is one of our shining stars. We really love her, and it's been amazing to see her grow within our program. But we have just as many talented students in our programs who do very different things. Again, Ashley's focused on fashion. We've seen students interested in tourism and how to make it sustainable. So I'd be happy to connect you with any of the students after this session, but I will also just leave on this slide information for Sylvia, my colleague, and myself. If you have any question or would like to be in touch with us, please feel free to reach out. We're always happy and excited to meet with students or just potential interest into schools or university. So feel free to reach out, and I know we'll open it for question right now. So happy to answer any remaining questions as well.
Awesome. Thank you both, Lilia and Ashley, for sharing more about um, the Sustainable Development Program in the undergrad at Columbia College, and Ashley for sharing your experience. It was wonderful to hear. It looks like we do have one question for you, Ashley. Curious, what was your inspiration to study sustainable development and attend Columbia University?
Thank you, Emma. What a great question. I'm originally from Missoula, which is a very small town slash city in Montana. And I grew up in an environment that really valued the outdoors and building that kind of reciprocal relationship with nature and really kind of incorporating it into your daily life. And so I grew up gardening and hiking and just honoring the environment around me. And so that really led me to kind of explore environmentalism within my or high school career. And when I was thinking about colleges, I knew that there's so much more out there. Of course, living in a very, I think I love the statistic there twice as many cows in Montana than there are people. And so I think I was really missing this cultural element in Montana, and that's something that New York absolutely had to offer. I mean, it's just like a melting pot of diversity and culture and knowledge. And I knew that if I attended Columbia, that I would be surrounded with students from so many different disciplines and cultures and countries. And so that's a large reason why I chose to try to study in New York and Columbia. And for sustainability, I I um I knew that the Sustainable Development Program it's a very unique offering that Columbia had, and not relatively new, but one of the newer majors that were offered. And it aligned with a lot of the kind of disciplines that I was already interested in as a high schooler. So as I mentioned, environmentalism, but there was a lot that I didn't know. I mean, I didn't really know how intersectional that sustainable development really is and how it dives into all of these different fields and disciplines. And so I was really interested to kind of approach this in my undergraduate studies and so grateful that I have. It's completely opened up my mind to how important sustainability is and how applicable it is to every single industry. And so I think I'm kind of reiterating what I said, but you can apply it to so many different things, and it totally shifts your kind of paradigm, maybe that you're living from as, a high schooler, and now I feel so knowledgeable. And so yeah, that's kind of a long-winded answer to that question, but thank you.
Yeah, that was great. Thanks, Ashley, for sharing more of the personal story of how you got to where you are today. And I think this was a great segue. You were just talking about the sustainable development major is so interdisciplinary in nature, and that has really opened up kind of your view of what this sort of work looks like. So there is another question about what is your experience working in, you mentioned the Fashion, Energy, and Climate Earth Network, and that is really kind of like a collaboration of researchers, staff, and practitioners from a wide variety of different disciplines. So yeah, would you be able to speak a little more about what that network is and kind of what your relationship or participation in that network has looked like?
Absolutely. I would agree. It has been such a unique experience to work with professors and with like faculty at Columbia. And I think it's granted me a lot of like excitement and responsibility because it's given me so much initiative to kind of be proactively seeking these opportunities and contributing to research that can like eventually be published one day. And I think that that's so exciting and inspiring to be working with people that I've looked up to and that I find so knowledgeable. And I'm thinking right now about Sally Q. She's the kind of head of the fashion network at least, and just learning from her and engaging with her and meeting with her on a weekly basis and being able to ask her so many questions and just gain that mentorship, even though it's kind of like more of it's a work environment, but it's also you gain so much from that mentorship experience as well. It's really a wonderful opportunity. And like I mentioned, there's so much support, even as an undergraduate working with uh, like professors, they're always there to support you.
That's wonderful to hear. Has there been a certain event through that network or talk or anything that has stuck out to you as a really interesting or unique experience?
Oh, absolutely. Yes, so with the Fashion, Energy, and Climate Network over the New York Climate Week earlier, I think it was in October, or sorry, early September, we hosted a really exciting panel event. And it was basically a half-day event that invited all of these different industry and research experts to have conversations about sustainable fashion, circularity, but also energy in fashion, and what does that look like? But then also the kind of new development of artificial intelligence, and if that's something that should be approached in the fashion industry and not. And it was just this incredible conversation that dove into so many different applications. I mean, we talked about agriculture and fashion. I mean, I don't even consider those like that related, but they completely, they really are. And so I think we had over 200 attendees from, of course, Columbia, but we opened it up to New York at large. And it was just an amazing immersive experience for everyone there. And it's really helped our network grow I think it's only 2 years old now. So it's been really exciting to see the trajectory it's been on and just hoping to grow it more and more. And yeah, I'm excited to keep contributing.
That's awesome. Yeah, I heard about that talk during Climate Week and I wasn't able to attend, but I heard wonderful things. And as you spoke about New York being such a wonderful space to come learn in, I mean, Climate Week is such a great example of everything that New York has to offer. Looks like we have another question. Looking ahead towards kind of like post school, post Columbia, what are your aspirations? Do you have any sort of like dream trajectory or dream job where you would go after your time within Columbia College?
Ah, yes, it's so crazy to now start thinking about time after my undergraduate career because I've been in this program for 4 years now and it's been everything to me. And so leaving is a bit melancholy, but I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I feel really well prepared. And this past summer, I worked in New York and I worked with a high quality garment manufacturing company called Farrar Manufacturing. And that was kind of my dream job at the moment. I just learned so much about supply chain and manufacturing in New York is kind of unheard of, especially in today's fashion industry that really utilizes the labor overseas and importing fabrics and things to the US. So working in a manufacturing company based in Long Island City in New York was just an immaculate experience in itself. And I just learned so much about the fashion industry that I never would have been able to learn from a book or something. And so I I would love to continue working there, but I've also, have a couple other prospect ideas. I've applied to a couple of programs through Columbia, of course, but then also looking forward to hear back on a couple opportunities in New York. So I did a kind of internship fellowship program with the Coach, and they have this amazing subsection of Coach called Coachtopia, and then also Coach Reloved. And so they're really kind of pioneering this space in like the fashion industry for reuse and circular garments and circularity. And it's been really exciting to see. And they've had a lot of success with creating bags from the materials that scrap materials, but then also taking old Coach bags and revamping them instead of making entirely new bags. And so really getting into this practice of recycling garments that already exist into new ones. And so really excited to see how I can kind of work in that sector as well.
Well, sounds like you have lots of aspirations and dreams and options coming up for you after this experience at Columbia. And I think with a couple minutes we have left, I might leave it with one more question for you for any students, prospective students who are interested in Columbia and specifically interested in the sustainable development major at Columbia. Maybe what small piece of advice would you give prospective students as they're still navigating kind of where they want to go within higher education?
I think, oh, that's such a great question, and it's one that I wanted to definitely hear when I was in high school. I think that allowing yourself the freedom and space to really explore what drives you, I love how other people describe it as what like keeps you ticking, what keeps you so excited. Like even if it's something so niche, there's always a way in which you can incorporate that into your undergraduate study. And so just allowing yourself that freedom in high school to explore all of those different avenues and then kind of but then also being really open to learning new things that can open your entire perspective to new opportunities. And so I think that's kind of how I navigated my undergraduate career. I never even knew that I was that interested in I didn't even know what sustainable fashion was. I mean, shamelessly in high school, I definitely participated in fast fashion, and it's but I think your ability to adapt a mindset and kind of be open to shifting, like I said, that paradigm and kind of just stepping into what excites you or what starts to motivate you. And then I believe in just diving in. And Columbia does an incredible job of having so many resources and opportunities, and also New York. I mean, you can just you end up going to places and experiences that you never even thought were there or possible. And so, yeah, I lead with your heart and lead with that kind of intuition because I feel like there's no way you can go wrong if you do that.
That's wonderful. Ashley, thank you so, so much for sharing about your experience at Columbia and with sustainable development. It's been such a joy to hear from you. And Lilia, thank you as well for sharing more about the program. And with that, unless there's any other final words from Lilia or Ashley, thank you both so much for joining. And I think we are ready to sign off. Thank you all for joining.
And thank you, Emma, for being so wonderful throughout this experience. Yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank
Have a
you,
good night.
everyone.